So today we are back on some Call of Duty, but as you guys can see from the crazy weird rendering and my whole screen bugging out, we are back on some Cold War. Now, this has nothing to do with Cold War being that bad of a game. Cold War is an amazing Call of Duty, but I'm playing this on the original Xbox One. This is the most scuffed setup of all time. I have my Xbox One on a folding table with my Elgato and all these strings kind of like hooked together. It literally looks like Mangled from FNAF. Like, this is horrible. This is not the optimized way to have this at all. But with that being said, as you may or may not know, I used to record all my Call of Duty content on a last gen Xbox. That's the only way that I have Cold War, and I wasn't about to go buy it for this video, so apologies in advance. Usually the menus are the only thing that looks bad. When we actually get into the game, it should be fine, but just wanted to get all that out of the way. It's a really scuffed setup that we have here. But as the title suggests, we are actually going to be talking about Black Ops 6 Zombies. Like I said in my last video, I wanted to make this a Cold War video, but I didn't realize I was going to talk so much about zombies. I thought I was going to kind of talk about multiplayer, but there was so much coming out with zombies today that I just have to talk about it. As you may or may not know, I'm a huge zombies fan, and I talked about this again in my last video. I want to go back and play all the zombie maps for YouTube, but I figured with zombies coming out, Cold War being the last real zombies that we've had, I might as well sit down and talk a little bit about all the stuff that got revealed today. So today, the cinematic trailer for the new Black Ops 6 Zombies map, Terminus, actually came out. In that intro cinematic, it's basically the thing that starts before the game actually starts playing, you know, before you start the game, and it phases into the round one with the cool round change noise, all that jazz. That cinematic revealed a few things about the zombies experience, but mainly set up the storyline for what's to come in Black Ops 6. Now, I could sit here and make a whole video kind of talking about everything that happened in the trailer, and I thought about doing that, but there's been so many YouTubers that have covered it so well and so in depth to begin with that I think I just want to kind of talk about the things that I was most excited for and just things that I have opinions on in regards to the gameplay. As you guys can see here, we're playing on D Machine. I don't really have a goal for for the gameplay. I just wanted to play some zombies in the background talking about zombies. Maybe I'll try to do a little high round here. I don't know. We'll see how far I get. But like I said, I don't want to talk about all this stuff that everyone else has already talked about, but I do want to mention a few things that were interesting to me in the cinematic trailer here. First things first, we are actually going to get a gameplay trailer reveal in 2 days from now on August 8th, so a lot of my suspicions and a lot of the things that I'm worried about will actually be answered when that comes around. So like I said, not talking about too many negative things here, but I do kind of want to touch on two main things. The two main things that I really wanted to touch on in this game does revolve around gameplay. As some of the leaks are suggesting, and as we kind of saw in the cinematic trailer, every character kind of gets handed a pretty kitted weapon. I think it was like a fully automatic rifle, one looked like another shotgun, and this kind of lines up with what leakers are saying, and that's that we are getting loadouts back. So similar to Cold War like I'm playing now, granted I chose to spawn in with a pistol, but you can spawn in with the best gun in the game, which I think is still the Gallo. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I see it on Twitter a lot, people are kind of trolling like, hey, you know, you can just run around and select the pistol. You don't have to use like the M16 off the start, which is very, very true, but the issue isn't starting with the gun that you start with or wanting to start with a pistol for traditional purposes. It actually deals more with the overall gameplay and the progression of zombies. A lot of what made early zombies special, in my opinion, was how useful things were and how you really had to be skillful to try to get yourself in a better position to survive those later rounds. Cold War kind of just seems like those later rounds were gifted to you, where back then you either had to get lucky at the box, be really good at training, or just, you know, progress yourself further into the map, opening up Pack-a-Punch, finding different ways to level up your guns, maybe doing the Easter egg quest to get a wonder weapon. It wasn't just like a free thing. With this whole loadout style that Cold War went for, it definitely introduced a lot more people to the easier gameplay that zombies could be, but I found other Call of Duties did that a lot easier. Take, for example, Black Ops 2. It has some pretty rough maps. It is still a two-hit down. Like, Black Ops 2 by no means is an easy Call of Duty. But Black Ops 2 also wound up launching with Town. So if you weren't able to embark on the big mission that was Transit, you could play a smaller map that had all the same fundamentals, and it was just a little bit easier for people who have never played. I know a ton of people that just still hop in on Town, and everybody remembers Town as, yeah, that was the map we played when we weren't going to try too hard. We just wanted something to kick back and play. And I think Liberty Falls, which is the second map coming out alongside Terminus, could be that. So my main issue with like loadouts coming back isn't the fact that you can spawn with whatever you want, but it kind of eliminates that, you know, the need to do something like this, hit the box and be like, oh my gosh, I got a good weapon, or oh no, I got a bad weapon, like this is going to be a hard run. it's a little nitpicky thing. Like I said, you can still start with a pistol like I am and make it a little more challenging, but it felt more progression during each playthrough, having to actually progress and not just being able to kind of like cheat your way with the loadout. So while yes, you can just, you know, equip the pistol to your loadout and it's not that big of a deal, I'm just hoping that Treyarch saw kind of like what people thought about Cold War and at least actively made some kind of change that would make the loadouts less, I guess, valuable, like almost as something that like, okay, you can spawn in with this, but you know, is it really going to help? Or if they found a way to implement loadouts as like a reward, like for example, if you do, you know, a certain amount of Easter egg steps, you can access a locker in the map that allows you to choose your loadout. I think that would be a really good compromise that would give an incentive to actually progressing and not just starting with the best things that you could. And again, if this is going to cause like a skill gap that needs, you know, new people to get introduced to zombies, I think Liberty Falls could be a really good way to start people on a easier track and then eventually work your way up to the harder map, which would be Terminus. With this being said, however, I don't think it's going to be game breaking. It's just a little nitpicking thing for me. Otherwise, everything else in that cinematic trailer sets up the storyline amazingly. I talked about this a lot, but I was really worried about how the storyline from like the Dark Aether and all that was going to translate into a newer game that was going to be what seems like pretty heavily story based. And I think they did a beautiful job. Terminus is taking place 5 years after the events of Cold War ended, and it reset the storyline in such a beautiful way where zombies have basically been out of the world for 5 years, and now the rift has somehow opened up and there's zombies breaching our realm again. With that idea in mind, it allows them to make a lot of cooler things. Like, you don't have to stick with just zombies. Basically, anything that could come through a portal could theoretically exist in this zombies world, and I think it's going to give us a lot cooler thematics. One thing that I was actually extremely excited for was in the little reveal trailer that they had, you can actually see some writing, and then not only does it say Richthofen, but there's also little like markings on the wall that relate to things like Cthulhu and other Lovecraftian like lore, which is super cool. Like, they're starting to blend other things into this that aren't just zombies, kind of like Shadows of Eva with the whole like Cthulhu undertone, which I absolutely love. I'm so excited to see how they do it. There's a bunch of other little Easter eggs that are kind of seen in that little reveal trailer, but like I said, I didn't want to harp on everything too much because there's people that go into a lot better depth. Like Noah J had a really good stream, Mr. Dalek JD talks about it a lot, even though Mr. Raffle Waffles is off in the abyss being kidnapped and his subplot's going crazy, that he's got some good videos all the time about this lore. So overall, like, I'm super excited for the game. It looks really good. It's pretty much everything that I wanted, which was just an improved Cold War. And like I said, the way that they've reset the storyline basically allows anything to be possible. Like, there can be anything in this zombies game now, which I love so much. I also saw that Gobblegums are coming back, but with a little bit different mechanic. Like, you might be able to get 3 and then choose 1 from the Gobblegum machine. Outside of Gobblegums and loadouts, I think there's going to be new specialty boss zombies and stuff like that. We saw like there was this weird spider thing that spawned out of the head of one of the zombies. That looked insane. On top of that, I don't know if they talked about the armor system coming back, but that's another thing that I'm kind of hoping they don't bring back. Granted, it did kind of work for Cold War, but I really wasn't that much of a fan of the whole armor drop system. I'd rather just have Jug. And actually, we just got the sledgehammer from the box, but this kind of bleeds into what I was going to talk about next. They already revealed a new perk, which was the, I think it was called Melee Macchiato. It's a coffee-inspired melee perk, kind of like Ethereal Razor from Black Ops 4, which I don't know if too many people played Black Ops 4 or used the perk, but it basically made your melee hit like 10 zombies at a time, and it did a ton of extra damage. People are having theories that all it does is increase, you know, damage, and maybe it'll have a different effect if you're prone or crouched opposed to standing. I think what the other effects could be is if you look at the perk bottle, it almost looks like they're picking somebody up from being revived. So I think that it might turn your melees into the pack-a-punched ballistic knife, where in Black Ops 2, or I think it might have been in Black Ops 3 too, when you shoot the pack-a-punch ballistic knife at a teammate that's down, it actually instantly revives them. So this perk could essentially do that, where if your teammate's down, you could just run up to them and revive them as if it was, you know, no big deal. You don't have to wait for the revive animation, you can just shoot it at them. Now granted, that would kind of take away the secondary effect of quick revive in multiplayer games, but I don't know, we'll have to see when it actually comes out. I really hope that it has another effect outside of just being like a stronger melee hit, because although that will be fun, I can't see how it's too practical in just the overall gameplay. But yeah, other than that, I'm super excited for the new zombies. Like I said, I didn't just want to regurgitate everything that everyone else said. I kind of wanted to drop my opinions on it, but overall it looks really good. I'm super excited. As somebody who's a real stickler for the storyline and gameplay of zombies, everything is shaping up beautifully. Granted, like I said, 2 days from now we will be getting the gameplay reveal trailer, which will pretty much answer every question that I have. We should see things like armor, we should see how the loadouts work, we should see how the damage is on the weapons, so I'm super excited. I really have a lot of faith in Treyarch in this year with zombies. It just seems like they have so much more care and so much more effort in it this year than they have for literally I think since Black Ops 4. Like the reveals for this and the teasers and everything have been amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of just wanted to get on here and yap a little bit about my opinions specifically on the whole Black Ops 6 Zombies reveal stuff. When all the gameplay gets revealed, I'll probably sit and make another video kind of talking about it and actually write down points that I want to talk about. But this video, I kind of just wanted to show you guys some Cold War, get introduced to zombies again, and just kind of talk about my, I guess, original opinions on some of the stuff that we saw. But yeah, other than that, I just want to say thank you guys for watching another video. I know this one was just a lot of yapping and a little bit different than what I usually do, but hopefully you did enjoy. I do plan on bringing a lot more zombies content to the channel. I actually think I might wind up streaming all weekend, just streaming different zombie maps, so definitely look out for that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching another video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.